Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
We are here live on YouTube on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke is behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live 1 p.m. Eastern time. A little new time for you, those of you returning, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Today, we talk MVP race. The GOAT has weighed in, and it's got Patriots fans really pissed off. But one thing that Boston fans are really quite happy about is not only are the Celtics having a great surprise year, but they've overtaken one of their biggest rivals who were supposed to be all in this season. we'll tell you why the Celtics will always be better than the Knicks. And then we will have Eamonn McLean of Black and Gold Hockey joining us to talk about the Team USA Olympic roster. It is out. There's a Bruins flavor to it, but there were some major snubs on this roster. We'll ask Eamonn why he now believes the U.S. are not the favorites at the Olympic Games because of Bill Guerin's decisions. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. We start where we start. It's in the thumbnail. It's why you're here. It's something that has been keeping us light the whole season, talking about the Patriots and how great this thing has been. And to affirm how great this thing has been, we need to make Drake Maye the MVP. Even though maybe he shouldn't be the MVP, is what the rest of the league is saying. But as someone who has watched Drake Maye in and out every single game this season, it's hard to say that he's not the best quarterback in the league and therefore the most valuable player in the league. As someone who watched this team all through the 4-13 last year and the 4-13 the year before, it's hard for me not to say that Drake Maye is the most valuable player in the league. Festivus was 2 weeks ago, but I got a lot of gripes with you people. I got a lot of things to bitch about here. And it starts with this whole MVP debate. Man, it's every week. Oh, well, Drake Maye did this. Well, Matthew Stafford did this and this and this. And it's like, oh, I really want it to be over. I'd rather the Patriots win the Super Bowl 11 times out of 10 than Drake Maye winning the MVP. But that said, again, I've watched every game of the Patriots, not just this year, but the 2 years before that when they combined to win 8 games. And you start to realize how valuable a quarterback really is for your NFL team. Something that I guess I didn't have to appreciate for most of my life because Tom Brady was the Patriots quarterback. And Tom Brady is where we start with this MVP debate because Tom, the GOAT, a couple MVPs himself, has given his take on who should win the award.
Something that you're very familiar with, and that's the MVP race. And today, Matthew Stafford threw for 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions once again, and now he has a total of 46 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah.
Is Matthew Stafford your MVP, or do you want to give it to the fellow Patriot, Drake Maye?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't get a vote. I think what Matthew Stafford's done this season has been absolutely remarkable. 46 touchdowns, that's, for any quarterback, that's a dream season. So he's been spectacular. Drake Maye on the other side has done some incredible things with Josh McDaniels in their first year together. Drake's got a long career ahead. I'm sure he's going to have many opportunities. I would say Matthew Stafford.
Look, I get it. This is no runaway, right? I know that it's not like Drake Maye is just dominating Matthew Stafford statistically. I know that. But in terms of this Brady reaction, my first thought was, can he just be a homer one time for us? Like, one time, man? Can, he be David Ortiz for a second? Ortiz is on there. He's got Red Sox hats on. The Yankees lose. And it's kind of annoying. It's played out at this point. Paul Pierce doing it with the Celtics, and yet we can't get Brady to do it for the Patriots. He's like the biggest sports icon this city has ever seen, in a city just full of sports icons. Can he just throw us a bone this one time and just put his Patriots cap on? No, we can't, because he's an okay broadcaster for Fox and he owns a different NFL team. And he didn't retire as a Patriot. And he's distanced himself quite a bit from this organization. And it sucks. It sucks all the way around. But let's look at the actual other part of this argument. And what Tom says there at the end is what really bugs me, man. Every conversation about this MVP for the year 2025, one season and one season only, it always comes back to, look what Matthew Stafford's done in his career. I mean, look at how great he's been. He was underappreciated for so long. And he was one of the best fantasy quarterbacks for so long. And he's doing it at age, whatever, at 36, 37. And that, boy, does he deserve it. Boy, does he deserve the MVP. I find that really funny because, in 2016, it was basically Matt Ryan's year to win it. He had a great season. The Falcons had a great season. It's not like a total lifetime achievement for Matt Ryan, but it was someone in the race that was comparable to Tom Brady that wasn't Tom Brady. So let's have Matt Ryan win it. Meanwhile, Tom was definitely a more valuable player, was a better player, and played 4 less games than Matt Ryan. And so that guy, almost a decade later, sitting there saying, well, Matthew Stafford, he's done so much in his career. This is where it loses me every time. This is not the Oscars, man. This is not Lifetime Achievement Award. This isn't give it to Leo for The Revenant because we didn't give it to him for these 3 other movies that he should have won. It's crazy. Let's give it to Daniel Day-Lewis for My Left Foot when really probably should have won it for In the Name of the Father. This is where you lose me here. It's in most valuable player for this season, not because Matt Stafford had a great career. Like, we had that moment already when he won the Super Bowl. That was great. He deserved it. He had been underappreciated for a long time. And now we fully appreciate Matthew Stafford. We do. We don't need to give him an MVP because he's had a great career. And yet people will say, Cam, come on. You're really doing this argument? He has 15 more touchdown passes than Drake Maye. And you're going to sit here and tell me this is just a lifetime achievement for Matthew Stafford? And that Drake Maye should actually win it? The quick answer is, yes, I fucking am. Yeah, I am telling you that. And look, 15 touchdowns is 15 touchdowns, man. 46 is 46. That's a hell of a season. And what people aren't talking about, what people are not talking about with this great season is that Matthew Stafford is doing something historic. Matthew Stafford is doing something we have never seen in the National Football League. He has the new NFL record for 1-yard touchdown passes in a single season. That 15 touchdown difference, passing touchdown, that 15 passing touchdown difference that Matthew Stafford has over Drake Maye has netted a total of 15 yards. I'm not making this up. After Sunday, he has 15 1-yard touchdown passes. They count just the same. But look at how often the Patriots are handing the ball off at the 1-yard line. To a fault. Drake Maye has 1-yard touchdown pass this year. 1. Matthew Stafford has 15 of them. That is crazy. Crazy. By the way, second on that list, Aaron Rodgers in 2020. And then third, Patrick Mahomes in 2018. And then behind him, Aaron Rodgers again in 2014. Behind that, Peyton Manning in 2013. And what do all of those guys have in common? They won the MVP that year. Every single one of them did. Like, you can't even make this shit up. Like Peyton Manning in 2013, I'll even throw you a bone, man. He threw 9 of them. He also threw 55 total. So you add 9 to what Matthew Stafford's already done. And that gets him there. By the way, after Manning is 2016 Matthew Stafford. Stat Padford, as they call him. And see, that's what I'm really bugged about. More than the lifetime achievement thing, is then you start to hear people saying, oh, well, Drake Maye's stat padding. He's playing the Jets. Threw 5 touchdowns in 2 quarters plus 1 drive. Matthew Stafford threw 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes of a game they were already leading on Sunday. And we got the balls to say that Drake Maye is the one that's stat padding. That's where you lose me. Again. And what also is crazy about this MVP race, I think for the first time in history, we're talking about the schedule. Like, are you shitting me? We're talking about the schedule for an MVP? You know, you want to talk about it for a team going into the playoffs for the first time? Fine. You know, I don't agree with you. I think it's a stupid metric. This is the NFL. You know, it's not the American Conference. It's not the Sun Belt, okay, or Conference USA playing against the SEC or the Big Ten. It's the National Football League that we're talking about here. But if you want to use it from a team standpoint, at least I understand that. To use it from an MVP standpoint, to me, is bullshit. When have we ever cared? Josh Allen had the third easiest schedule of the last 25 years last year. Do you think anybody cared when it came to him winning MVP? No, because he won the MVP. And the other one we talk about, Patriots' second easiest schedule of all time. Well, who was first? The 1999 Rams, who not only won the Super Bowl, but had, you guessed it, the MVP at quarterback. We didn't care then, but suddenly we care now. When it's Drake Maye, when it's a Patriot, we care. That's bull. That's such bullshit, man. And what they'll tell you is, Matthew Stafford leads him in passing touchdowns and passing yards per game, which are all technically true. I mean, technically, they are true. But what they won't tell you is Drake Maye's 450 rushing yards. You don't hear total yards get put into the equation because then Matthew Stafford's behind. We don't talk about 1-yard touchdowns because then Matthew Stafford is dead even with Drake Maye. We don't hear about the rushing stats because Matthew Stafford has 1 rushing first down this year. Drake Maye has 35. You never hear that. And then record is out of the equation too because Matthew Stafford does not have a better record than Drake Maye does. So then that is no longer part of the discussion. Drake Maye leads the league in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and quarterback rating. But all you'll hear about is pass yards, pass touchdowns, pass yards per game. All the other sports are past those kinds of stats. No pun intended. But here in football, we got to give it to Matthew Stafford because it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. If Stafford wins the MVP, it's not some great train robbery. All right. I think Drake Maye deserves it more, but it's not like he's absolutely getting it wouldn't be as lopsided as it was last year. Let me say that. Because Lamar Jackson should have won the MVP over Josh Allen. It wouldn't be that crazy. But again, to use these arbitrary things, it's these things that we've never used before. The schedule. Right? We've never used that. We've never totally taken a quarterback's rushing attack out of the equation. We're doing it with Drake Maye. You know, we're not supposed to see it as a Lifetime Achievement Award until it comes to Matthew Stafford. Then it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. Then it's great. And what we've taken out of the equation entirely is one of the 3 letters in the award. We have taken the V out of MVP entirely. It's the best player with the best stats. Okay. Offensive player of the year is what that should fit. But when it comes to value, you've got 2 quarterbacks, pretty evenly matched in every statistic. And one of them has a team at 14-3 and the number 2 seed after back-to-back 4-win seasons. The other is throwing to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and has the offensive mastermind in football. Again, what it comes down to when you've got 2 guys who are as evenly matched as this, you say, okay, if we take Matthew Stafford off the Rams, what are they? Put Mac Jones. He's having a good year. Put Mac Jones in there instead. They're probably winning 10 games. 9-10 games? I don't think that's crazy at all. You take Drake Maye off the Patriots? You put Mac Jones in there? Huh, you're talking about a 3rd straight 4-win season, if you're lucky. So to me, if we're looking at value, It's pretty easy. Like Drake Maye has the value. And over the last 2 years, I've had to watch just this dog shit football from the Patriots. And this year, we get blessed. I'm looking at my timeline yesterday on Instagram, and I've got this picture coming through. The last 2 years, they've won 8 games, and now I've got a quarterback that's literally flying through the air. Whether he wins MVP or not, this is so friggin' cool. Like, it's so awesome that we have Drake Maye on our team. Stafford might win it. The Rams might win the Super Bowl, man. They're that good. And in 2 years, Matthew Stafford will be getting millions and millions of dollars from CBS, and the Patriots will still have Drake Maye. And all will be pretty damn good. So anyway, all that to say, for a guy who's been in the fight, has lost MVPs, had losing MVP seasons that are better than most winning MVP seasons, like Tom Brady, to go out there and say it's Stafford's because it's a lifetime achievement award, I think that's such bullshit, man. I really do. I think Drake Maye is the most valuable player in the National Football League. And I don't know if it's really close. Trevor Lawrence might be second. We're talking pure value. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live on YouTube every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Of course, your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, it's right here on the Wicked Boston Show. Coming up next, let's talk about the Celtics a little bit. They continue to impress everybody, and now they have leapfrogged one of their biggest rivals in the Eastern Conference. Why the Celtics will always be the Celtics, and the Knicks will always be pathetic. Coming up next on the Wicked Boston Show.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stuart here. Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air every day, every weekday, live on YouTube, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. The Celtics, they've shocked everyone this year. And when it's a year when you were supposed to tank and you end up being pretty good, you take the minor victories when you get them. And one of those was last night. I'm not talking about the Celtics beating the Bulls. Who doesn't beat the Bulls? But it's the fact that the Celtics moved into second place in the Eastern Conference, only behind Detroit, which means they have surpassed the New York Knicks. And I'm just sitting there looking at this last night, and I'm just laughing. I'm just chuckling. There's no banner for it. right? It doesn't mean shit. It could turn around next week, right? But it's crazy to me how all in the Knicks were this year and the year before. And they finally actually beat the Celtics. And here they are again. Like, just can't figure out their own shit. The Celtics without Tatum, without Holiday, without Porzingis, have figured it out. They have a 19-year-old who was averaging 4 points a game last year in Spain. And he's a huge impact player for them. Anthony Simons, 27 off the bench. It's like it's nothing. They just keep picking up these guys. They've won 4 in a row. They're 23-12. The Knicks sit there at 23-13. So one back in the loss column. Celtics just 3.5 behind Detroit for the top spot in the Eastern Conference, man. And I just think back to what this last year has been. The Knicks obviously pull off the huge deal for Karl Anthony Towns. They give Mikal Bridges a ton of money. I'm not going to say that in a vacuum was bad. I think it abandoned some of their identity to go out and get Karl Anthony Towns, but they did make it a step further the next year. They made the conference finals. And then they don't know what to do with themselves. They beat the Celtics. They beat them. Most of the time, the Celtics were not shorthanded. And the Knicks beat them. And finally get over that hump. They get to the conference finals. They lost to a better team. Indiana, hotter team, better team. And then what do? They panic. They fire their coach. They fire Thibodeau. Everyone's like, really? And it goes weeks and weeks. They don't know who they're going to bring in. They bring in a retread. And it hasn't clicked all the way through January. This was their time to be all in. Knicks going for the title. Look at how wide open the Eastern Conference is. And then you got a team that 2 years ago lost 25 games in a row, is sitting there in first. You've got the team you beat last year that doesn't have their top 5 player in the league ahead of you in second. And you got to be, as a Knicks fan, thinking, where in the hell did this go wrong? Now, there's plenty of time, obviously. But you're like, how in the hell? Man, how are we only a game and a half up on the Raptors? And the Sixers? 3 games up on the Sixers. What in the hell? It's the first week in January, but what are we doing here? If you're a Knicks fan, you're thinking we should be running away with the Eastern Conference right now. We should be the only ones that can challenge one of these beasts out west. San Antonio, Oklahoma City. Instead, they're sitting here thinking, how the hell are we behind the Celtics? And we've lost 4 games in a row. It's supposed to be the all-in Knicks, man. Can't get out of the way of Jaylen Brown's Celtics, who somehow have a better offensive rating than they did last year and have a better net rating and offensive rating than the Knicks do this year. And this is what I mean. We are the Boston Celtics and you are the New York Knicks. And that's basically what this comes down to. You know, the Celtics are in second place in the Eastern Conference right now, in large part thanks to culture. And yes, Jaylen Brown, but that's part of the culture, man. They picked up Jaylen Brown through a number 3 overall pick they got by having foresight and trading away their best players when their best was behind them. You know, they don't go in there and tank. They don't trade Jaylen Brown so that they can tank even better. They say, you know what? This is a 1-year blip. We've still got a pretty good team here. We've got a GM who can identify talent and make good deals. Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons. That's turned out to be a pretty damn good deal. Certainly looked that way last night. You know, our coach got out-coached by Thibodeau in that second-round playoff series. But we trust him. We like his philosophy. We like how he communicates with the players. We're going to keep him. The Knicks, when they beat the Celtics, they then fire their coach. The Celtics keep it in-house. They know they've got a good team with good culture that expects to win. Veterans who have been there and done that and know what it takes in a long season, and guys who will just give flat out 150% effort every damn night. And the Knicks don't. The Knicks fire their coach. And they find all these reasons for why they're not good enough right now. Why everything's against them. The Celtics don't do that. It's this, you'll call it win now culture, but it's really panic win now culture that the Knicks have bought into. The Celtics have played the long games. They trust in their people. And it's not just like this year, last year, year before. Like we're talking my entire lifetime as a Celtics fan. The people have always been in the same place. You just got a new owner, but it's not like the guy got ran out of town. Wick was great. You had Rich Gotham, and you had Danny Ainge forever. And then you had Doc Rivers forever. And then you had Brad Stevens, who's a damn good coach, even better executive. And after the Ime thing, you bring in Missoula. He gets out-coached the first year. You have an out. You have a chance to be like, okay, we're done. We'll go somewhere new. And they don't. They double down, and then they win a title. And then they don't panic. They know that they had to clean house and get rid of some contracts this year. They didn't panic. They drafted and developed Jaylen Brown, who no one expected to go at number 3. They traded out of the number 1 pick to get Jason Tatum at 3. This is trust. This is like legit trust and development. And the Knicks could well be the Eastern Conference's representative this year. They still could be that. But they'll likely have one bite at the apple because of the way they're doing this. And the Celtics, they're having a great year right now, and it's an in-between. It's a gap until they get Jason Tatum back and they start really competing for NBA titles again. Celtics fans, don't take this for granted. We've gotten the other teams in our city exposed the last couple of years after not being exposed for 2 decades, right? The Red Sox and their penny pinching, the Patriots and their big-time dysfunction the last 2 seasons before this one, the Bruins really still not knowing what the hell they're doing. Through all of that, the Celtics have been the Celtics. And they have been building, and they will continue to build. And even when the Knicks go all in, and the Celtics lose their best player, and then probably best players 3 through 5, they still continue to win at a high clip, and they're better than the Knicks right now. And it's like time's a flat circle, dude. Al Horford leaves for a middling team. The Celtics do even better. It sounds like 2020. Here they are again. The Knicks will be the Knicks, and the Celtics will be the Celtics. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We come at you live on YouTube every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. It is right here on the Wicked Boston Show. When we come back, special guest, we're getting real patriotic. Eamonn McLean of Black and Gold Hockey will join the show. We will talk about the USA Olympic hockey roster and why Eamonn now thinks they are not the favorites at the tournament because of this decision. We'll tell you next on the Wicked Boston Show.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Polo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
But Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
The You Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You Like.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, your host, Cam Stewart, here, Zach Burke, behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live on YouTube. Now the new time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. We've done a little football, a little basketball. It's time to hit the ice because the biggest hockey event of the year is next month, so long as they get the arena ready. We're talking Olympic hockey in Milan. The United States has released their roster, and it is sparking some controversy. So we're bringing in one of the experts on the subject. I'm talking Eamonn McLean from Black and Gold Productions to break down this roster. But first, Eamonn, let's start here. We're coming off a disappointment at the World Juniors. No doubt about it. Losing in the quarterfinal on home ice. Great showing for the Bruins. We'll talk about that. But now, does that put a little bit extra pressure on the big boys in the Olympics to avoid 2 U.S. hockey disappointments in 2 months?
I don't know if it puts more pressure on them.
You think there was enough pressure already? You think there was enough of an event
I think
already?
there's enough. Yeah, I mean, we haven't won gold at the Olympics since the Miracle on Ice. That's 45 years. I mean, I feel like there's already enough pressure as there is. I mean, the U.S. was going for a three-peat too. So, I mean, eventually you got to lose at some point.
The 19-year-olds aren't putting more on Matthew Tkachuk's plate here.
Yeah, I don't think Matthew Tkachuk's too concerned, unfortunately.
Probably not. He's got other problems, like, getting on the ice to worry about. And NHL wise, I don't typically care how his rehab's going. No ill will. But USA Hockey wise, really hoping he gets back on the ice soon. So let's talk about it. USA Hockey releasing their rosters the end of last week as they prepare to head to Milan for the Olympic Games. Let's take a look at it here, Eamonn. This sparked some controversy for sure, specifically with some of the newcomers and some of the guys who a lot of people didn't think were going to make the team again after their Four Nations disappointment. Let's start with the New York Rangers on the list. JT Miller and Vinny Trocheck played at Four Nations last year. Didn't do much for you. And here they are again in the midst of a bad season for the Rangers and a pretty lackluster season for both of these guys. This is clearly a game-style philosophical decision by Bill Guerin to keep these two guys on the roster. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I guess what I don't get is obviously the team's coached by Mike Sullivan, who coaches the Rangers. Chris Jury is part of the forget what his exact title is, but he's part of the management group for Team USA.
Him being part of
assistant GM.
Look.
Don't quote me on that though. I know he is part of it.
Yeah, he's part of the.
So you have all these decision makers with ties to the Rangers, and they don't take Adam Fox, but they take these two. Like, that makes no sense.
If I told you in September, Eamonn, all right, you got to send 2 New York Rangers to the Olympics if your life depended on it for Team USA, like, you'd think one of them would be Adam Fox, especially he's having a good year. He's having a bounce back year.
Yeah, I'd send Adam Fox without much second thought about it. And then I'd send, probably Trocheck, I guess. JT Miller to me, he's had some great, he was great in Vancouver, but this year he's just been dreadful. it's hard not to think of that one play against Vegas where he's just standing knees straight as can be, just barely coasting to the middle and watching Vegas score. It's like, what are you doing?
Bill,
I mean, I don't care if you've been out there for 5 minutes, like at least bend your knees. I mean, I just don't really get how he made the team. Trocheck, I kind of understand. Like, I mean, you have Eichel's a right shot center. I mean, Tage is also can play center, but I mean, if you want someone who could take, D-zone draws on the right side of the ice, I mean, yes, it makes sense to have Trocheck. I mean, there's not really a ton of other options in that sense. And I mean, I don't think I actually do like Vince Trocheck's game a bit, so I don't really hate that one that much. Miller, I just cannot get behind. I'm sorry. Like, it sounds like, honestly, he might have just been chosen because he's captain of the Rangers. In which case, like, what are we doing here? USA's goal is not to keep the Rangers locker room intact. I mean, it's barely intact as it is with them all on the team.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, our goal is to win a gold medal, and I don't think you've put the best roster here that with that goal in mind.
Yeah, and look, you're trying to win the gold medal, like you just said, and you were so close to winning that tournament last year. You just needed another goal, so you need goals and winning. The New York Rangers don't give you either of those things. JT Miller does not give you either of those things, as we've seen this season. And I think, one of the things that we hear about, obviously, is that, Bill Guerin wants this physical aspect, guys who fit bottom six roles. And I just wonder how overblown that is, because typically in the Olympics, we're talking about a much bigger ice surface. So it doesn't really factor in, right? You want speed and you want skill. And now we're talking about a smaller ice surface than the NHL, kind of all of a sudden, for the first time in the Olympics. We're talking about that, but it's still under IIHF rules. There's no fighting. The checking is limited. It's a different kind of game. So that said, should there be an emphasis on physicality for the United States, which is something they were really good at in last year's tournament? Should there be an emphasis there with the way the IIHF game is called?
I don't think so. I mean, like you need physicality in hockey. I mean, that's a thing, but I mean, I don't think it's an issue with the US. I mean, I mean, people are worried about like Tom Wilson taking penalties for Canada. I worry about the Kachucks taking penalties for the U.S. I mean, I worry the same thing that you could say about Tom Wilson, lighting some dude on like Latvia up and running him through the boards and, getting a 5 in a game, and all of a sudden the game's really close. The same thing you can say about Brady Tkachuk on the first play of the Olympics. Like, I mean, he could just go run some German defenseman through the boards, and all of a sudden you're killing a 5-minute major because he hit him too hard. I mean, that's happens all the time at the World Juniors. I mean, yeah. And I mean, just going back to, if you look at USA hockey, I mean, the first Olympics I can remember, I was 8 years old, was 2010. I mean, we lost by a goal to Canada. Crosby scored in overtime. 2014, I think we lost 2-0 to Canada with an empty netter.
With an empty netter.
Correctly.
Yeah.
The semifinal. So again, it's one goal pretty much. I mean, he
1-0 the whole game. Yeah.
One real goal. Yeah. Couldn't score. 2016 World Cup of Hockey, just total disaster.
Bad.
Go 0-3 in the group stage. Couldn't score. Then take a long break, and then Four Nations comes around and you lose again. 1 goal to Canada. You can't score. I mean, if you look at the Four Nations bottom 6, what did you get from them? Like, you didn't get anything from JT Miller. You didn't get anything from Brock Nelson. You didn't get anything from Trocheck. I mean, you didn't get much from Austin Matthews, but I mean, you're not going to cut him at this point, unfortunately. I mean, I don't really see, like last year, yeah, Jason Robertson didn't have a good season. But this year he's been one of the best players in the league. Like, how are you keeping him at home? I just don't get it.
And one thing we hear about Robertson, one of the funny things you hear about Robertson is the speed, and he doesn't have a lot of speed. He doesn't. And then I'm like, he's also not much of a body checker, but then we're also talking about a smaller ice surface. So here's a guy who scores in tight spaces anyway. and you're putting him in a tighter space, I kind of like his chances. It just, I don't know. It feels like we're overthinking it a lot. Is that the vibe you're getting, that we're just overthinking it here?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I forget who tweeted this, but it was a very good tweet. They were talking about like roster composition and how like the salary cap kind of warps people's minds into like the creation of player roles and stuff. Yeah. And his point was basically, if you could build an ideal team like with no salary cap, you'd take 12 clones of Nathan McKinnon, like 6 clones of Cale Makar, and then 2 clones of Connor Hellebuck, right? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't go, I'm going to take 6 Nathan McKinnons, and then I'm going to take like 3 like Charlie Coyles and 3 Dolacharis. Like, no, you just take 12 superstars. And like in the NHL, obviously you can't do that for a variety of reasons. I mean, there's a salary cap, everyone gets drafted, so you'd have to trade for everybody, and you only have so many assets, like so on and so on. But in the Olympics, you can do whatever the hell you want as long as the person's players from your country. I mean, and I think they forget that. Like, you don't. The reason like checking fourth line forwards exist is because of the salary cap, really. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, the Olympics are going to be a weird tournament too, because they're going to play a lot of games against teams that like, they're going to be teams like Italy and France and Denmark and Germany that are probably below the level of an average NHL team. It's going to be a lot of, players from Europe, players from Sweden, players from Finland. And then they're going to play Canada, which is going to be just an unbelievable team. Everyone's a superstar. It's going to be just ridiculous. It's just a weird level. Like, I don't know how much penalty kill guys you really need, if you really need them for 1 or 2 games against like a Canada or a Sweden, especially now that Russia's not in the tournament.
I'm feeling Vinny Trocheck, first line center, on and up against host Italy in like the second game of the tournament, just so you don't even have to put Eichel out there, don't even have to put Matthews out there. That could be the case. All right, so let's get to the corrections here then. All right, so we're looking at some of the controversial guys, the Trochecks, the Millers. Clayton Keller is a newbie, slightly controversial because he's a newbie. Seth Jones takes that spot on the blue line. So who would you have had instead of some of these controversial guys? Who were the biggest snubs for Team USA?
Well, Jason Robertson, without a doubt, for me, is the biggest snub. I mean, I would take him over Miller. I would take him over probably Trocheck. I would maybe take him over Brock Nelson too. I mean, he's just an absurd talent. I don't understand how you leave that at home, especially just given, Jack Hughes didn't have a great Four Nations. Matthews didn't have a great Four Nations. Kyle Connor didn't have a great Four Nations. I feel like there's a decent chance some of these guys aren't going like during the Olympics. Like, they come out of the gate slow, and you're going to need to shake it up. Like, what are you going to do? Put JT Miller in? Like, all right, Austin Matthews, bye. You're sitting. Here's JT Miller and his 40 points. Like, what are we doing? On defense, I get why they left Adam Fox at home. I thought he was horrible in the Four Nations. But at the same time, if we're talking about an 8th defenseman, I think I'm taking a Norris Witter over Seth Jones. I'd even consider John Carlson, honestly. That might be a bit of a just crazy Massachusetts native-based take. But, I go back to, when I was 9 years old watching the Twice Head World Juniors, he scored the gold medal winning goal. I'm like, you know what? Some positive juju there. I'd take that. I think Seth Jones won a gold medal at the World Juniors too, but
yeah.
I think he was on the team with Gaudreau. I think
he was.
Team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good team. That was a good World Juniors. But I definitely would have considered Adam Fox. The thing that just concerns me is the lack of production from some of their top players and just the form they're on. I've talked about him a bunch so far, but Matthews has really had a tough season. There's a lot of talk about injury with him. Matthew Tkachuk hasn't played all year. That concerns me. Hellebuck hasn't been healthy. That doesn't concern me quite as much, just given they have Andre and Swayman. But I mean, McAvoy's obviously not 100%. He's got the face shield on. I don't think that'll be resolved by the Olympics. I mean, I find it worrisome. I do. I really do think there's a chance they don't make it to the gold medal game, which is kind of scary. But on paper, they should be the second best team in my opinion. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of room for error.
It feels like there is, and maybe that's us being a little too hungover from an overtime loss last year. But you mentioned it, like Jack Hughes having a great season. You can't really leave him off, but he did not play well last year. Jacob Slavin, on the other hand, might have been their best player at the tournament last year. He's not 100%. He's barely played this year.
Jack Hughes is another one who's injured. I forgot about him. His hand. I mean, he's back now, but what is he really at is the question.
Yeah, and you'll have to obviously wonder that about Matthew Tkachuk. He'll be back in the Panthers lineup before the Olympics, it sounds like. But you don't know exactly what you're getting from him. And this is a guy who injured himself in the tournament last year. So we're talking about a year of this, through to playoffs. But I mean, he's not nearly 100% and probably won't be at 100% conditioning by the time you get there. So yeah, some big questions here. I'm also, not to go against Massachusetts again, but like, I'm not a big Noah Hannafin guy at this point in his career. I'd probably I think Adam Fox could have been in over Seth Jones. I think he could have been in over Hannafin. I think he could have been in over Brock Faber, who's bounced back nicely after a really bad start to the season. He's been solid for Minnesota, but I think there's so many other guys you can look at. Last thing I do want to get to though is, of the newcomers here, who do you like the best? What guy were you saying, all right, finally, Bill, you got this guy in here. You got this right.
All right, this is kind of a cop-out answer because he was injured, but I guess Quinn Hughes.
All right,
didn't get to play at the Four Nations. I mean, that'll be the one. If you're evaluating the two lineups, Four Nations versus this Olympic roster, I mean, that's definitely the biggest addition. I mean, we saw firsthand what Quinn Hughes can do at his wild debut against the Bruins. I mean, that'll be a big kind of. He's not quite as good as Kel McCarr, but he's pretty damn close. That's probably the U.S.'s closest answer to what Canada has on the back end with McCarr. Start for the forwards. I'm excited they brought Tage Thompson. Really excited about that. I think that's the right decision. I have no idea why he wasn't on the team last year. I mean, just going back to, this was just another thought that popped in my head for the Four Nations. You mentioned Matthew Tkachuk's injury. Another thing I didn't like, they healthy scratched Kyle Connor for the championship game. And Matthew Tkachuk gets hurt in the first or second period, and he's not 100%. Why wouldn't you dress Kyle Connor then? Why wouldn't you have him ready in case
beats the hell out of me? And that's you wonder why the Penguins and the Rangers have been so down the last couple of years. Part of it's because of their roster. But Mike Sullivan had his fingerprints on all of that. Okay? I said that was the last thing, but this is the last thing. We talked about it earlier. U.S. World Juniors go out earlier than expected in the quarterfinals to Finland. But it's great for Bruins fans. Talk about real quick seeing James Hagens, Will Zellers in this tournament, what you saw from them and why Bruins fans should be excited.
Yeah. I thought Zellers was probably the more impressive of the two. I was just so blown away with how relentless he is. I mean, he was just inevitable the whole tournament. Just felt like, somehow, some way he was going to impact the game. I mean, the Finland game is just a great example of it. Gets the puck on the neutral zone, goes through 3 or 4 Finland players. They knock the puck off his stick every time. He keeps kicking it forward, keeps, driving the net, gets it down low. Hagen scoops it out front to Riker Lee, who buries it. I mean, that's just ridiculous work ethic by Zellers. His shot was unbelievable. Goal against Switzerland was ridiculous. Germany, he has 2 goals, saves them again. But yeah, I thought USA's biggest problem was definitely coaching and defense and goaltending. I thought Kempf was pretty good in the games he played, but they didn't play him for most of the
Yeah.
games, which again goes back to the
Weird.
coach. That's on the goaltender. He doesn't fill out the lineup card. I didn't understand why they put Brady Nolan in for the Sweden game when he hadn't played all tournament. Just seems like you're putting a player in a position to fail, really, in my opinion. I mean, a 17-year-old. I mean, if you're going to start him, I think you start him against like Slovakia or something, not against Sweden. Their defense was just, they didn't have enough players who could make 10, 20-foot passes reliably out of their own zone. I thought outside of Hudson and Chase Reed, like, what do they have? Not much. Their forward group was all right. Like, I thought Higgins had a decent tournament, but I didn't think he was as great as I would have liked. There are a lot of times where I felt like I didn't really notice him as much as I would have wanted to. But I mean, at the same time, like, he had a point in every game. He was clearly one of the USA's best players. Yeah, I mean, I said it on my podcast, Black and Gold Hockey Podcast. You know, I'm not sure he's a setter at the NHL level. That's just my one concern I have. I feel like, you know, he gets muscled off pucks a little too easily. I didn't love his board play against Finland. That one goal against they had. Kind of just lost it. Although, to be fair, you could also say Zellers, I think it was Logan Hensler, who's the U.S. defenseman, could have tied up the Finnish kid that scored their first goal for Finland better. But I mean, at the same time, like, he has so much talent. It's so evident, you know, how talented he is. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes for him. I mean, I expect him to turn pro as soon as BC's season is over. I think he'll go to the NHL after, but, you know, you never know with this team. They might throw him in Providence for 300 games. We'd never see him again.
Providence will have some playoff games, man. Wait till then. Have him up with the big club for a couple, huh? Stick him on the wing.
Yeah. I mean, I said as much. I'd like to see him with Pasternak right away. It's just my opinion. Or Geeky too. I mean, Pasternak and Geeky. I mean, Higgins and Geeky could be a good combo, just given how good of a passer Higgins is and how good of a shooter Geeky is. But yeah, I mean, I think Zellers probably goes back to North Dakota for another year. But I mean, also, who knows? Like, he could turn pro too. So we'll see.
Certainly, the timeline feels like it has moved up for Zellers, for Dean Letourneau. Not saying that means those guys are going to be playing on the team in April, but it doesn't look like longer-term projects anymore. So that is reason to be excited if you're a Bruins fan. Reason to be excited, too, because you get great coverage from guys like Eamonn McLean here. Black and Gold Productions, Black and Gold Hockey. To Eamonn, tell the people where they can find your work so that they can keep up with this Bruins team.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and X. My @ is at Eamonn McLean 44, EAMONNMCLEAN 44. Just always spell it because nobody can spell my name correctly.
Totally get that.
Yeah, then you can always check out my writing at blackandgoldhockey.com, as well as, you know, some of my other coworkers who also do a great job covering the Bruins.
Hell yeah. Eamonn, we really appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
There he goes. An honor, man. Honor to have Eamonn McLean. There he goes. One of the best in the business. Happy to have him on. Breaking down this roster. Who do you think was the biggest snub for Team USA? Who are you most excited about for the Bruins with their prospects? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live on YouTube every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio is right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. So thank you to Zach Burke for keeping us on. Thank you to Eamonn for joining us. Thank you to all of you for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow on another edition of the Wicked Boston Show.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.